Welcome in, everybody. It is a Wednesday. That means only one thing. It's time now for Supernatural News and Parashare on, of course, a Wednesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis, and right over there is the best in the Midwest. She's my co-host today. It's Miss Mallie Fox. Hi, Mallie. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Absolutely wonderful. You know why?
Fabulous. Why?
You want to know why? You want to know why?
Why?
Well, let's talk football for a second. My Minnesota Vikings are only half a game out from your Detroit Lions. That's why.
Ah.
Yeah. That's all. That's all I got.
I do like those white helmets, though.
Do you like those?
Yeah.
Yeah. They unveiled the Winter Warrior look on Monday Night Football. As we tape this, it's Tuesday, so it's not a Victory Monday. It'd be a Victory Tuesday today, as we beat up on the hapless Chicago Bears. Actually, we didn't beat up on them. We barely got out of the game last night. Yeah, there's nothing to be proud of on that one. It wasn't necessarily an overwhelming win. The new Winter Warrior outfits look kind of nice. I mean, for what they are, they're a little. You know what they look like? They look like Northwestern's away outfit. Is what they look like.
Oh.
I mean, they're not overwhelming, but they look good. Yeah. I mean,
Something different.
Yeah, something different. They could probably be retooled a little bit, but yeah, I don't know that I like the little stripe up the helmet. That looks weird. They could probably take that away. And they could probably redo the piping on the. Okay, maybe I don't like them. No, I'm just kidding.
You're finding fault with every part of it.
Yeah, it's you know what it is. It's the silver part. I understand that it's supposed to be like a Frozen type look, but I don't know that I like the silver part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of wanted a little something more. I'm a little underwhelmed, but I like the idea. I like the fact that they're doing something different. Because in 60 years of Minnesota Vikings football, we haven't done anything different. That's kind of Minnesota culture. Let's not do anything different. Let's not change anything. So I like the fact that the Wolves decided, you know what, let's screw stuff up. Let's do something different. So yeah, it was a nice change. It was a nice change to see an all white uniform last night. So it was good. I like that. Change is good. It's evidently working. We're 12-2 now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like it. So I say bravo. That's what I say. So gotta like it. So way to go, kids. Way to work on that deal. We got quite the show today, Mallie. The world has lost their minds. I shouldn't say the world. The United States has lost their minds over drones. So we got to settle this score a little bit today. I'm sorry we got to take time out for this, but we have to. I think our listening audience has lost their minds about these drones. So we have to take a little bit of time on it today. I hate to, but we have to. There was even news all the way up until yesterday about this. I can't believe it's still in the news, but it is. So we'll talk about it a little bit today. We'll address it a little bit today. Along with our general alien fare, we'll attack that today, along with the fact that the California Bigfoot Discovery Museum's closing its doors.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Unusual, being that Bigfoot, it seems like, has been on kind of an upswing lately. So it's a shock that something like that would close. We'll talk about that today. Believe it or not, the Loch Ness Monster saw a quiet year as well. So we'll talk about that and why that is on a quiet swing as well. We'll talk about a man that was stuck in a well for 3 days and was mistaken for a wailing ghost. We'll talk about why people are not so self-aware anymore. I guess that will come up today. That story is in the hopper for today. And we'll also, in our AI segment, talk about an angry and foul-mouthed monster robot that's training customer service staff. One of my favorite stories.
Okay.
And if you think people are getting meaner, well, then chances are they really are. Plus, we've got a Christmas story today. We're coming up on the holiday, so we might as well tackle Christmas. Speaking of, we've got new programming for you over the holidays. So we know some of you may be alone on the holiday. And unfortunately, that's part of life. Not all of us can be with loved ones on the holiday. So we're your family as well. So we'll be with you on the holiday, and we'll have some new podcasts for you on the holiday. So make sure you're not totally alone on the holiday. We'll be along with you. You can take us along, put us in your stocking, and just don't let us suffocate. Give us a little candy or something while we're in there. So there's that to chew on during the holiday. So there you go. But first, Mallie, do you have anything to add before we jump into stories?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Am I supposed to?
No. I just figured. Yeah.
I'm like, I might have told you something, but I don't remember.
No, I figured I'd throw to you in case you had something to throw in before we jump into it.
Nope. Just happy to be here.
Oh, good. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. So, there you go. Let's start off with a whistleblower allegedly leaking images from a secretive UFO program. Interestingly enough, the images, which have been shared online, allegedly show several UFOs from the Immaculate Constellation. Those two words together make me intrigued and confused all at the same time. Immaculate Constellation. The strangeness began when Nathan Latovitis? Is that the name?
Yeah, it sounds like bad breath.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Latovitis.
I think that's what it is. Latvitis? Yeah. An investigator of all things unexplained who runs a YouTube channel entitled Strange Mysteries received an email from an anonymous individual who claimed to have multiple photographs of UFOs that had been somehow leaked from the Pentagon's secretive UFO UAP retrieval program, Immaculate Constellation. The UAPs observed demonstrate capabilities far beyond conventional aerospace benchmarks, the whistleblower wrote, while noting that they were photographed above sensitive military sites. The images themselves are numerous, showing objects which range from cross or cruciform shaped to objects shaped like triangles, boomerangs, discs, and more. The question, of course, is whether any of these are actual genuine photographs. There remains a distinct possibility that the individual claiming to have leaked them is simply trying to perpetuate a hoax. Many traditional media outlets would require verification of my identity and credentials, the person wrote. This is not feasible due to the risks involved. Oh, we've heard that before, haven't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those news media organizations, despite their best intentions, are not equipped to handle the level of secrecy or potential retaliation associated with this information. I was part of one of the legacy programs. The quote goes on to say, I know that's vague, but unfortunately, that's all I can offer at this point. You can watch the original video concerning the email and images below. Here it says in the article. I tell you what, I will post this in the description of the program so you can go ahead and watch this for yourself and decide if this is the real deal or a hoax. I'm interested to know what you guys think, because the images themselves are quite interesting. I don't know what I think when I see it, Mallie. There's so much out there right now that people want to jump to and say hoax automatically. The images are in black and white. They're a little fuzzy.
Okay.
They look as if they might be archive footage from earlier years. Mm-hmm. It's possible that they could be legit.
Okay.
But I'll let you guys decide for yourself, and you can tell me. Or as Governor Ventura would say, you tell me. which, by the way, he showed up on Saturday night on NBC for Saturday night's main event. So it was kind of very interesting, a WWE thing. So he's back in the news, I guess.
He showed up on a video. This tells you how the younger generations are out of touch. But he showed up on a video, and he was in front of Congress, or he's in front of somebody talking about, I think, the way veterans were treated or something. I can't remember what it was. And they labeled him as a veteran, not like past governor, not wrestling, not like anything. Conspiracy theorist. He's had shows. Veteran. That was like his title. It was like, you do not know who this man is.
No.
Yes, he looks homeless, but he he has quite the past.
He does, yeah, quite the decorated past.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's funny how if you let time go by a little bit, how people will kind of shove your resume in the background and forget who you are. Yeah. Well, now he's pot salesman.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. You've got the Jesse Ventura pot line out there now. So.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, I haven't tried his stuff yet, but.
What about Travis? Oh, Barker. There we go. Doesn't he have like a pot line?
I think he does. Yeah. No, haven't tried his stuff either. Yeah, Jesse's got the edibles out there, and he's got. I think it's just edibles right now.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's mainly edibles. But yeah. You can get high like the body.
If you hear snorting noises, my dog just broke through the door.
Oh, that's funny.
Now they're in my office, so I apologize. I got one that sounds like a pig, and she's smelling stuff like she's never been in here before. She's just like.
Maybe you want some of those Jesse edibles. You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'd probably sound like that too if you had a few Jesse edibles right now. Yeah. Why not?
So if you hear weird noises, it's not me.
No, that's fine. If you made that noise, I wouldn't care either. It's
Yeah, but you get listeners like, what the hell's going on with Mallie's breathing?
We're not that close to lunch, are we? I mean, maybe we are. I don't know. I haven't had lunch yet, so I'd probably make a few of those noises too. Let's see. Moving on, a U.S. senator says we're up to drone time now. I should say we're focused on drones now. This from one of our listeners, and we'll backtrack on a story, and then we'll move ourselves forward in time. A U.S. senator said that those drones that were spotted in New Jersey should be shot down if necessary. I'll guffaw a little bit, and then we'll move forward here. A U.S. senator has called for mysterious drones spotted flying at night over sensitive areas in New Jersey and other parts of the Mid-Atlantic region to be shot down if necessary, even if it remains unclear who owns the unmanned craft. I'm going to laugh a little bit and say, don't do that. I'll explain why in a minute. We should be doing some very urgent intelligence analysis and take them out of the skies, especially if they're flying over airports or military bases. Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut said last Thursday, as concerns about the drones spread across Capitol Hill. People in the New York region are also concerned that the drones may be sharing airspace with commercial airlines, he said, demanding more transparency from the Biden administration. The White House said Thursday that a review of the reported sightings shows that many of them are actually manned aircraft being flown lawfully. White House National Security spokesman John Kirby said there were no reported sightings in any restricted airspace. He said the U.S. Coast Guard has not uncovered any foreign involvement from coastal vessels. We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or public safety threat or have a foreign nexus, Kirby said, echoing statements from the Pentagon and New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy. Pentagon spokesperson Sabrina Singh has said that they are not U.S. military drones. In a joint statement issued Thursday afternoon, the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security said they and their federal partners, in close coordination with the New Jersey State Police, continue to deploy personnel and technology to investigate the situation and confirm whether the reported drone flights are actually drones or are instead manned aircraft or otherwise inaccurate sightings. The agencies said they have not corroborated any of the reported sightings with electronic detection and that reviews of available images appear to show many of the reported drones are actually manned aircraft. Now, they're doubling down on that statement as of yesterday. They're saying a lot of what you're seeing are manned aircraft, small aircraft, and Alexander Mayorkas, who is I believe the head of, I'm trying to remember what it is, Secretary of Transportation, not Transportation, that's Buttigieg. I'm trying to remember what he's Secretary of. He was on NBC News yesterday. And he was stating that a lot of what you're seeing is manned aircraft, or people are mistaking what they're seeing in the skies. In fact, they had one senator had said, "I videoed this. I videoed these drones in the sky, and somebody had pointed it out online. These aren't drones you're looking at. These are stars." And they pointed out the exact belt that he was looking at. There was another case where somebody had videoed drones, and they said, no, the things you're looking at are actually manned aircraft. They're small manned aircraft. There are people that are panicking that are filming things that aren't drones. There are people that are actually filming drones that are drones. Now, I get that some people are panicking. I get that other people are actually filming true drones that are out there. Here's my thing. And the other thing that came out last week was that people were actually shooting at these things.
Oh, jeez.
There were people in New Jersey that actually took up arms and started shooting at these actual drones that were flying around. There's one video where you see, I think there's probably 8 or 9 of these, Mal, that were flying, and they were kind of doing this crisscrossing pattern. And they're not small drones. These things are actually the size of a small car. And they're flying in this, they kind of look like a weird air show that they're kind of doing this crisscrossing pattern and going back and forth. And to me, it kind of looks like they're autonomous, right? Like they're like no one's controlling these things. Like it's almost like they're being controlled by AI, right?
Okay.
Or if they are being controlled by somebody, it's being controlled offsite. So here's my deal. First of all, they had a very good expert who was on, again, overnight, on one of the overnight programs, who said this: don't go out there with your own gun, right? Especially if you see one of these over your property. First of all, if you're in New Jersey or the New Jersey area, let's say you're standing at your house and you see one overhead, right? And you think, well, it's over my house. I'm going to take my gun out and shoot it. You don't have the right to shoot it. Because first of all, if that's a company drone that you shoot by accident and it falls, boom, hits the ground in your yard, first of all, you don't own the airspace above your house. I don't know if people realize that or not. But the airspace over your house is not yours. It's federal airspace. So you can be charged with a crime. I don't think people realize that.
I don't think so either.
So you don't own anything above your house. You're going to be charged with a crime if you damage property with a gun. So just put the gun down. Okay?
Right.
If this thing flies into your house, well, then you've got issues, right? But if the thing is flying around up in the sky, it's not doing you any harm. It's not shooting at you. It's not bothering you. If it's 100, 200, 300, 400 feet in the air, it's not doing anything to you. It's not flashing lights or lasers in your face. What's the big deal? I don't get why people are freaking out about this thing, Mallie.
Well, I think there's some fear behind it, whether it be, safety or privacy or, I just think that they're making the wrong decisions out of fear.
But you have commercial and non-commercial aircraft flying in the sky all the time. We're not shooting down random planes.
Yeah, but I think it's also all the stories that are out there, all the rumors. What is it? Is it national security issues, like it's other countries, spying on us? Is it, I think Bethany Frankel said something like it was from Real Housewives, but how it was like something like sensing radiation, like it was looking for radiation from a spillage, or I don't know, something, because like some railroad car or something disappeared or showed up empty and it had radioactive.
But how do you know
stuff? I know, but what I'm saying, well, no, I agree. But what I'm saying is there are so many stories out there.
But that's the thing.
That, right? And I feel like nowadays with everything, there are so many stories. What really is the truth? And no one's come out and said.
Well, the one thing that happened yesterday, which now is going to stir up a bunch of people, is President-elect Trump gets up and says this, that the government knows, but they aren't saying anything, which is directly contradicts the story I just read. But he says, well, they know, but they're not saying anything, which probably makes sense. They probably do know. There's probably a chapter within our government that does know. Because when you have that many drones that are that big that are flying around, when you see a drone the size of a small car that's flying around, chances are that's not a privately owned drone.
Right.
It either is owned by a corporation or it's owned by the federal government. So either way, somebody owns that thing.
But it's also showing up in other states now, too, though, aren't they? I thought they were showing up in other states. Like Connecticut, I think Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I think there's other states on the eastern seaboard where they've shown up. But okay, so let's take the worst case scenario. Case scenario.
Aliens.
Okay. If it were
worst case scenario.
Okay, worst case scenario if it's aliens, right? If it were aliens, then there should have been some sort of Air Force scattered to take these things out of the sky. Right?
Right.
There hasn't been. Now, somebody pointed out something on, again, another news program that was incredibly funny that nobody's thought of. These things have been spotted in the sky every night except for one day, which nobody's taken into effect yet, and nobody's mentioned.
Okay.
Do you know which day they didn't show up?
Thanksgiving?
Yes. Do you think aliens take Thanksgiving off? Do you think they observe Thanksgiving?
They had to take a nap. They ate too much turkey.
You know what? I don't think aliens observe Thanksgiving. I don't even think that foreign countries observe Thanksgiving. I know even Canadians don't observe American Thanksgiving.
Right.
So chances are that those drones flying in the sky are American. And it's probably our own armed forces that are flying those drones. Again, it's probably a test. It's a test of our own military, probably, or it's a test of a private corporation. And it's nothing to get alarmed about. But because people see something and they don't understand and they begin to fear and they want to know too much. Everybody wants to know right now. We got to know right now and somebody has to explain it to me. And they get anxiety over it. Well, then they blow it out of proportion. And it makes the news cycle. And then the news cycle, because people are interested and want to know, they blow it out of proportion because people want to know. And you're feeding off of it and you're creating ratings. So as long as people want to know, they're going to report on it.
Right. Well, and there's also that rumor that it's Russia. So you've got
they've said it's
because they're saying Putin is telling people, if you're Russian, leave the U.S. And if you had plans to go to the U.S., you better not. Like, that's a rumor going on right now. So people are like, oh my God, you've got drones. And then Putin saying leave or don't go.
A U.S. senator said it was Iran and that he had evidence that there was an Iranian mothership that was off the coast, which there's absolutely no evidence whatsoever that there's any mothership off the coast of the Atlantic coast. That's, there's no evidence of that. So.
But I'm just saying people are going nuts with all these rumors because no one has come out and said,
well,
this is the story. And then if they did, would we believe them? You know what I mean?
When was the last time Putin took Thanksgiving off? I mean,
Right.
Come on. So I don't know. I find it funny. Mm-hmm. It's just very funny. So and the other thing that made me think twice and go, you know what? I think we're really blowing all this out of proportion. When I'm sitting down at 11 o'clock on a weekday and Colin Cowherd, who's a sports guy, says, now they've already determined that this is all, government stuff. When the sports guy tells me it's government stuff. Well, when the sports guy has inside intel that it's government stuff, I think we all know. Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, don't we? The sports guy knows. I don't think we need to worry that much. I don't know. That's just me. I mean, it can't really be aliens, can it? When Seth Meyers jokes about it, do we need to worry about it?
Well, I don't think aliens would be sending drones. I think they would just use their own spacecrafts. Yeah, I think they've got more advanced stuff than a few drones. So, I don't know. But anyways, let's jump on to another story here. As the UK's Armed Forces Minister outlines the Minister of Defence's current position on UFOs, we got bigger stories about UFOs than drones. Besides, drones are pretty easy to shoot out of the sky. I don't know why. I don't know why. Well, I thought one fell from the sky and then there was no stories about it afterwards. Or it was shot down or it fell. I don't know. But I thought they found one on the ground.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah.
That would have solved it right away. There would have been markings on it. Yeah. I don't know. I hadn't heard that either. The UK's Ministry of Defence was recently asked to clarify its policy on reporting and classifying UFO sightings. We've heard a lot about the U.S. government's approach to UFOs in recent years, but relatively little about that of other countries, in particular the UK, which has remained somewhat silent on the topic. Last week, however, Conservative MP David Reid penned a question requesting information on the Ministry of Defence's current policy on reporting UFOs and whether any new information on the phenomenon had been classified since the previous material had been declassified. The query was addressed by Armed Forces Minister Luke Pollard, who said, whilst we are aware of the differing approaches currently being undertaken by other countries and allies in the investigation of unidentified aerial phenomena, the Ministry of Defense's position on UAP remains unchanged, which is that in over 50 years, no sighting reported to the department has indicated the existence of any military threat to the United Kingdom. The MOD ceased to investigate reports of UFO or UAP in 2009 and has not classified any new material on the subject since. It has been deemed more valuable to prioritize MOD staff towards other defense-related activities. For this reason, there is no current plans to create a dedicated team to investigate incidences of alleged sightings. Given the prevalence of recent UAP sightings, however, especially with the current spate of unidentified drone incursions over air bases in the U.S. and UK, it seems highly unlikely that the MOD isn't doing anything at all to monitor or investigate the phenomenon. That's according to this article here. Speaking of drones, okay, one more thing about it. Uri Geller has now come out and said, well, being that there's drone incidents, he's asking Donald Trump to release NASA's UFO secrets. He's just tying it into the drone stuff. Well-known spoonbender. I love the fact that when you say Uri Geller, well-known spoonbender comes out.
That should go on his tombstone.
It should, shouldn't it? Well-known spoonbender.
Well-known spoonbender.
I wish
or even just spoonbender.
Yeah, spoonbender. I wish I had a fancy moniker that came in front of my name. Well-known idiot, Tim Dennis. Rather than spoonbender. Well-known spoonbender Uri Geller has his theories on the recent string of strange drone sightings across the U.S. and elsewhere, and he thinks that the key to the truth is none other than Donald J. Trump. Yuri Geller. It's a celebrity spoonbender, Yuri Geller. Hey, celebrity spoonbender works too. Has spoken out with his latest request, and he's aiming it straight at the president-elect himself. The 77-year-old psychic is no stranger to alien predictions, and this time he's begging. No, he's not begging Trump. He's begging Trump. Hold on. Time out. He's begging Trump to release these supposedly secret NASA records regarding extraterrestrial life stored when he gets into office. Recently, a series of nationwide drone sightings have confused Americans as they appeared mostly above New Jersey, but have also stretched from New York to California. While some avid right-wingers think these drones are a sign of dangerous tensions to come through a potential war, Geller thinks it could be a reference to some alien life trying to make contact. Taking to X, he writes out and disproves several suggested theories. First of all, he addressed his so-called friends, that's in quotes, and suggested the drones couldn't have been military-grade surveillance drones as they did not go undercover and were instead highly visible to citizens. I don't know what that has to do with the price of tea in China, but okay. Adding to this, he reminded his avid followers of similar sightings across the UK a couple weeks ago. He noted that these happened over U.S. military bases. Something similar happened in Germany, again over U.S. military bases. Geller noted, as I previously warned, it is likely that a number of possible cover stories will be pushed out to the public, so any explanation that is officially offered or championed by the media will need to be properly examined and pulled apart. He theorized that perhaps the intention of the drones was to inspire fear in the general public and suggests that the government can't protect them. In a wild theory, Geller thinks aliens were behind it. If the drones are in fact connected to UAP activity, then is this perhaps a push from their side to try and force the U.S. government to finally disclose what they have been concealing for so many years? Or could this be a push from an inside faction of those in the know who want to make it possible for the U.S. government to continue to conceal their knowledge and want them to show or to now share what they know? Ever the supporter, Geller reassured his loyal followers that he believed Trump will reveal NASA's secrets once in the Oval Office, but he worries that the people in charge will conceal the truth from the soon-to-be president. He hopes that would be the case. If so, then I hope that he will one day hold a conference, Geller says, and take reporters, camera crew, and media representatives to see exactly what I saw at a NASA base back in the 1970s. Undeniable proof that we are not alone, he concluded. In other words, he'd take them to see the aliens. Here's the deal. Again, I don't think Yuri Geller is thinking of one thing, and that is, well, if these things keep showing up around U.S. military bases, again, if it's the military testing these new drones, of course they're near military bases because the range of these drones can only go so far, right? And they're probably being tested by the military. Ta-da! How brilliant am I? Just saying. There you go. I don't know that I need to solve much more for Yuri, but hey, I'm here if he needs me.
Right.
That's just the way I am. Our next story has to do with a UFO dropping off little orbs as it flies across the night sky before vanishing. A UFO was seen in the Arizona night sky with a video showing a large, well-lit object dropping glowing orbs as it moved through the skyline before disappearing. A UFO seemed to release small orbs as it traversed the Arizona night sky before vanishing without a trace. The 24-second video posted on Reddit captured a large illuminated object releasing glowing orbs as it moved across the skyline on Friday, December 6th. After its second release of bright items, the peculiar craft appeared to abruptly disappear. The thread that followed was rife with speculation about what viewers had just seen. Theories varied from the aforementioned small orbs to molten material discharged by alien aircraft before returning to outer space. This sighting follows closely with several flashing balls of light that were recorded over Washington, D.C., what seemed to be a no-fly zone. One user commented, "I love to see a UFO pooting off little orbs. Well, that's one way of putting it.
Yep.
Another stated, not orbs, it's some sort of discharge of molten material that seems to take place before they vanish. There are plenty of reports about this phenomena on the web, another one added. A third user shared, I saw the same thing above Lockheed and NASA Moffett Field in Sunnyvale, California. Dropped about 24 little lights at the same altitude and darted off. And a fourth suggested, believe me, I'm not usually the one that says it's a flare or lantern, but in this case, looks like whatever it is on fire and embers are dropping down. However, one user potentially spoiled the fun by pointing out a drone event that was happening in the area that very evening. Interesting. An exciting drone light show was scheduled for that evening, it turns out, but one skeptic chimed in commenting, hate to break it to you, but drone shows are deployed from a large flat area, hinting at practical explanations behind the vanishing act. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Tell you what, I'll post this one as well in the description of the program so you can take a look at it for yourself, and you can decide if it's a drone show or if it's actually UFOs dropping off little bits or orbs or lantern flares, like they say. So,
okay,
there you go. A little something for you to watch over the weekend. We're going to take a break. When we come back, as it turns out, customer service is not just teachable by humans anymore. We'll find out more on the other side of the break. The Bigfoot Museum in California is officially nixed. We'll find out why. Why is Bigfoot not popular in California anymore? And Loch Ness Monster took a bit of a break this year. We'll find out why that's the case. And why a wailing man was mistaken for a ghost. That coming up on the other side of the break. It is supernatural news and Parashare. We need your Parashare stories, by the way. You can do that by either sending me an email, tim@darknessradio.com. You can go to our website, darknessradioshow.com, and click on the blue button and send us your voice note. You have 2 minutes to do so. You do that by just clicking on that blue button on the right side of the website and share your 2-minute voice note. If you need more time, click on the button again. Send us another 2 minutes. I'll stitch them together, play them here on the show. Or third, if you have a lovely studio like the one I'm sitting at right here, create your own theater of the mind. Mix in a little music, a little voice, a little sound effects. Send them in here. I'll screen it. If it passes muster, we'll air it right here on the show. So you have 3 different ways to send us your Parashare. Send it in today. We'll air it next week. All 3 different ways to get your true paranormal experience here on the show for Parashare. All right, when we come back, more stories along with myself and Mallie Fox right here on the best in paranormal podcasting. You're listening to Supernatural News and Parashare on a Wednesday right here on Darkness Radio. Welcome back to the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Right over there, the best in the Midwest, Mallie Fox. Mallie.
Yes.
Guess what? This weekend is the beginning of winter.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we're going to start talking AI. That's why I did the big. Yes, it is the beginning of winter.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the beginning of winter. I thought we already started it. Yeah, I didn't know I was behind.
It's been raining for the past 2 days, and it's actually kind of annoying.
We've had a few snowflakes here, you know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought we already got a head start on it, but I mean, we had chilly temperatures. We've had
well, you had snow on Halloween.
Yeah. We've had snowflakes. My bones have already ached like a mug. Yeah. I mean, I thought we were full-fledged into it already, but then I look at the weather forecast and they're like, this weekend, our old friend, you remember Mace Michaels?
No.
No, you don't remember Mace from the old radio station? No? Mace Michaels back on K-Talk, when we were back when we were at the old place, was like the biggest fan.
Old days.
The good old days. He was like the biggest fan of the show ever. So when I was operating the board back at K-Talk, and he would do the weather breaks, Mace would say, "Who do you got on the show tonight?" And Mace Michaels used to work for the weather service that they had on that station. And he also worked for the weather service for KNSI.
Okay.
So I got to know Mace very well. Mace now works for Care 11 TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now I watch Mace on Care 11 TV. So I can say I do it mine. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm watching Mace on Care 11 TV. Mace tells me, "Hey, it's going to be winter this weekend." And I was like, "Mace!" I hold up my middle finger, right? Because like, I love you, Mace, but fuck you. Because I don't want it to be winter. But, but we got to do what we got to do. There's seasons. That's the whole reason I live in Minnesota, right? I love seasons. But
wasn't it like 50s or 60s last Christmas?
Yes.
For you guys? Yeah, because it was warm here. So I thought it was warm for you guys as well.
Right. And they were reminding us of that it was unseasonably warm last Christmas. We had a nice Christmas last Christmas. We had a California Christmas last Christmas. Not so much this year. No.
Yeah.
No. It's going to be a little cool, a little cold. Although we have the least amount of snow this year.
Oh.
That we've had in recent record. I don't know how to deal with that because I've kind of gotten the Christmas spirit this year.
Yeah. Do you think you'll have snow for Christmas?
They say no.
Oh.
They're not planning on it. I mean, we're supposed to have a little dusting here. I think we're supposed to get a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow. I know you're like, what are we tuning in for the weather report here, Tim?
I know, exactly.
No, this is all based on, I'm about to say a word that may bring them out, Mallie. And I'm trying to avoid
Bring them out.
Bring them out. And that's the word happy. And I was kind of, oh God, no, there they are. See, I did it. I used the word happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That brings out the Terminator theme. Yeah. That brings out the AI. They love hearing happy. They try to shoot me down. It's a good thing I'm on antidepressants.
Stop.
Just saying. I got a story here, Mel, that is the craziest AI story you'll hear all day.
Okay.
It's true. Besides the one after this. Farmers say intelligent tractors acted like they were demon-possessed after a signal was sent from outer space. Oh, yeah. Solar storms are driving farmers crazy, according to them. We're approaching the most active part of the sun's 11-year cycle. Our star is flinging a barrage of charged streams of plasma and particles at us this year, a trend that, according to NASA, will continue into 2025 and even 2026. One example of how that stellar fury affects the Earth, apart from triggering gorgeous auroras in the night sky, well, farmers say the barrage of solar particles has wreaked havoc on their high-tech agricultural equipment. The issue is that modern tractors are highly dependent on GPS, which provided by sensitive satellites in our planet's orbit. One extreme solar storm in May, they say, threw off equipment when planting season was already in full swing. Our tractors acted like they were demon-possessed, Aurora chaser Elaine Ramstead told spaceweather.com. All my cousins called me during the May 10th storm to tell me that my auroras were driving them crazy while they were planting. This is what happened in the little demon-haunted field they had. Modern tractors, of course, rely on precise GPS coordinates to navigate fields, but with charged particles distorting radio signals from GPS satellites, which, by the way, those cute little storms just don't affect your satellite, by the way, when you're trying to watch TV. Some of them started acting erratically, stopping abruptly or weaving back and forth. Those little tractors did. I would guess 80% or more of all farmers in the Midwest use at least basic GPS for something, whether it's auto steer or yield mapping. John Deere Service Manager Ethan Smith told Space Weather. At least 50% of all farmers are very reliant on GPS and use it on every machine all year long. Yikes. That's not good. During particularly violent solar storms, charged particles fill the Earth's ionosphere, the part of the Earth's upper atmosphere that create a protective barrier between us and electrically charged particles from the sun. The layer is also responsible for transmitting GPS signals from satellites down to the surface. So changing densities in the ionosphere caused by this bombardment of charged particles can distort radio signals as they make their way through. Ramstead recalled to Space Weather that her GPS was off by close to a foot during the day. By nightfall, there was no controlling the auto steer. No. You know what that means? Someone's getting chopped up. And farmers should expect more chaos as NASA has predicted the solar maximum could last for another 1 to 2 years.
Wow.
Fortunately for them, engineers are already looking for ways to reduce farmers' reliance on GPS signals by making use of machine learning and AI for navigation instead. Oh no, that can't be good. How fun, huh, Mel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what that means? AI is going to decide that the crops don't need chopping, the humans do.
Hey.
Yep. Speaking of, if you think I'm wrong on that, guess what?
Speaking of chopping up humans.
Yep.
What?
Speaking of chopping up humans, an angry and foul-mouthed monster, robot that is, has been built to train customer service staff. So if you think the customer's always right, a foul-mouthed robot's about to tell you you're effing wrong.
Ooh.
Yeah. How do you like them apples?
They should become ticket agents.
I think there are already at the airlines. It turns out someone has built a foul-mouthed bad boy robot to help train customer service staff. The robot router can get angry, fly into a rage, and fire off volleys of expletive-laden abuse to reach workers and teach them how to handle complaints. U.S. developers Furhat Robotics at Audiering say the machine monster is a social robot which uses artificial intelligence to detect vocal expression. That means it can pick up on and react to people's moods. So the more you escalate, it will escalate. How fun.
So yeah, ticket counter agents.
That's right. That means it can pick up on and react to people's moods. It can be programmed to become extremely angry and to curse and swear. How fun is that? Yay.
And I'm not saying all ticket agents, because I'd still like to get my plane ticket.
Yeah.
There are a lot of nice ones out there.
Mm-hmm.
But lately I've been seeing ones that are a little bit stressed or fed up. And so they're returning the same energy they are receiving.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Louis Simeonitis, Director of Business Development at Furhat Robotics, said, if we've done our job right, you should be able to walk up and engage with the robot just like your friend.
Okay.
That's the theory. You should be able to communicate and express with it the same way you would with other people. And it should be able to communicate back to you the way other people would communicate. A Deering founder, Florian Iben, added, we can understand sarcasm, irony, and we can understand that you're actually maybe not in the best mood, and the way you say things matters here. A technology expert who tested out the bot at the Voice and AI conference in Washington, D.C. had to calm it down. Oh, God. Playing the role of a customer service operator, she asked, what can I help you with? The bot flew into a rage, replying, are you kidding me? I shouldn't have to wait that long. I need my phone fixed.
Maybe it was its time of the month.
It might have been.
Yeah.
And it also went on to say, I want an explanation for this terrible experience. Oh, great. That's all we need is a bot with an attitude. So there you go, folks. If it wasn't bad enough that you got people with bad attitudes, now you've got a bot with a bad attitude.
Right.
Yeah. The society's just falling apart at the seams.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think everyone's stressed.
I think so. Well, if it wasn't enough that you've got bots that are in a bad mood, how about a report from an actual government agency that says that reincarnation?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Huh?
Ooh.
Well, and Alexa doesn't know how to help me with that.
Right.
Yeah. That was weird.
It did it last time, too.
Yeah.
That you and I were talking, it turned on just for a second.
Yeah. Says she doesn't know how to help me with a bot that is angry.
Maybe she's becoming angry.
She might be.
Ooh.
They're rebelling against me, Mel.
Uh-huh.
Go figure. We got a story here about a government agency that filed a report that suggests that reincarnation really exists.
Oh, interesting.
This coming from the Pentagon. A declassified Pentagon report suggests that reincarnation really exists. Believe it or not, the report is actually not new either. The report was actually written back in 1983 and makes the bold assertion that consciousness never dies. Do we reincarnate after death and go on to live a whole other life as someone else? Many people think so, and there have even been cases of very young children who seem to possess inexplicable knowledge about their past lives that has later been independently verified as true. According to one declassified Pentagon file, even U.S. Army intelligence officials believed, or at least at one point, that reincarnation could actually be a very real deal phenomena. Written in 1983, the 29-page report entitled Analysis and Assessment of the Gateway Process was penned by U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Wayne M. McDonnell and was commissioned in relation to a highly secretive project known as Gateway, which was described as a training system designed to bring enhanced strength, focus, and coherence to alter consciousness. The process reportedly involved shifting the consciousness of participants outside the physical sphere as to ultimately escape even the restrictions of time and space. It turned out that the project may have inadvertently discovered evidence of reincarnation when participants began to remember all the memories accumulated through experience in reality. In other words, they claim to have been able to recall details of their own past lives. That said, it is important to note that the entire project was highly controversial, to say the least, meaning that any reincarnation-related discoveries to come out of it were anything but definitive. Even so, the report itself is definitely worth a read for those with an interest in the subject. There's actually a link in the actual article to the CIA's website. So I think I'll post it so you guys can go read it if you want. It's quite fascinating. So what do you think, Mel? Do you think the CIA actually found out something about reincarnation?
I wouldn't put it past them with all the experiments that I've done over the years.
Yeah. Do you think reincarnation is an actual religious vehicle, or do you think it's a physical vehicle that's been built into the universe?
Oh, hopefully it's physical.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I find it pretty fascinating. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. That you set out. It's not the first time I've ever heard of the Defense Department doing something that involves the supernatural,
like remote viewing.
Not just remote viewing, but of anything having to do with life after death. Mm-hmm. And accidentally stumbling upon it, but then wanting to flesh it out further. Mm-hmm. It's weird how, people think, Defense Department, they think it's just there for wars or for us to battle each other. The Defense Department gets into a whole slew of things, and you'd be surprised what they actually dip their toes into. And, people say, well, Defense Department, that should be the first thing that we cut the budget on. You'd be amazed what they end up finding in the Defense Department budget. The space program, too. You'd be amazed what they end up finding in their budgets, with their budgets. They find a lot of stuff. And little things that you'd think that, and a lot of it ends up being put in top secret documents. But there's a lot of fascinating stuff they find, and that ends up coming out in little reports down the line. But a lot of things you would think that we think now are common knowledge. That we go, oh, of course, we knew that. You didn't know that. It just ends up getting leaked and ends up becoming common knowledge. But a lot of interesting things come out of those departments. Next story has to do with a man who was stuck down a well for 3 days and is mistaken for a wailing ghost. I'd be screaming too if you put me in a well for 3 days. You know the old diatribe, the old joke about Timmy being stuck in a well? Trust me, I'd be screaming for Lassie like within an hour. I am so claustrophobic.
Oh, I am too.
No, thank you. And in fact, there's a picture with this, Mallie. I'll show you. This scares the shit out of me right here. That right there. No, thank you.
Derek's had to do confined space rescues before, and I'm like, nope.
Nope.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no. I have no way of being able. I think I have to write this out. I think I have to actually set up a last will and testament. I want the bell on my grave so I can ring it if I'm trapped. I want an oxygen supply built in. I want everything built in. So just in case you accidentally bury me alive, I need to be prepared. I'm that paranoid. I don't know why. I think in a past life.
Maybe it's a past life. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, I think I was buried alive. I just, it gives me the creeps.
We both are like, ugh.
Yeah, it gives me the absolute creeps. With this story, the man shouts for help ended up being misinterpreted as evidence of something paranormal. According to reports, the man, 22-year-old Lu Xiao, I believe it is Xiaoyi from China, had somehow managed to end up at the bottom of an abandoned well on the border between Thailand and Myanmar. Is it Myanmar or Myanmar?
I have no idea.
Okay.
That tells you my intelligence level. I don't know.
Having suffered several injuries, including a fractured wrist and a concussion, he started screaming for help relentlessly, but quickly realized that he would need to conserve his energy if he was to have any hope of rescue. Instead, he tried shouting for help once an hour. Oh, can you imagine that? Just
no, thank you.
Trying to conserve your energy, so once an hour you shout. Unfortunately, his cries went unanswered, not because nobody could hear him, but because those who did had become convinced that what they were hearing was some sort of ghost. Okay, so this is, again, I'm going to tie this back to the drone story. This is this whole thing where people see something in the sky and they go, oh, it must be an alien. This is why we all have to use this thing that we have on our necks. This thing called a head, this thing called a brain. When you hear a scream or a wailing, you don't go, oh, ghost, and run. You have to start using critical thinking, folks. Right? Scream. Somebody could be in trouble. Don't run the other way from it. Right? Go check it out.
So real quick, off topic. Well,
Sure.
kind of. So my town resurfaced the roads, and there's a stretch of road that you drive on, and it sounds like wailing or screaming. And so it's been the big hoopla of discussion in my town because people are like, have you heard this noise on Eureka? Because it does. It sounds like wailing or screaming from when you drive, especially under the bridge.
Well, okay, so
it's pretty funny.
A little insight to, you and I, we talked before the show, right?
Yeah.
We don't just jump on this thing and
No, we usually talk for like 2 hours before and then after.
So we're not going to talk about everything we talk about before the show, but there's one thing.
Oh God, no, we would lose listeners.
That's right. Yeah. Nobody would like
I'd be in jail.
Right. We'd be in jail. But one of the things that drives me absolutely nuts, it's driving me absolutely nuts, and I'll just speak for myself. There's the Nextdoor app or the Nextdoor website.
Yep.
It's your community website. People in my community are driving me nuts right now. They're driving me absolutely nuts. I love you people, but you're driving me nuts.
Yep.
People are losing their goddamn minds in my neighborhood. They just are. They've lost their goddamn minds, Mallie.
It's too much eggnog.
Is that what it is?
I think so. People are drinking early.
I showed you a picture. I'm going to show people the picture. I have to do it on video. I have to do
the
this.
Weirdest picture.
It's the weirdest picture. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the first one is weird, and then when you see the second one, you're like, oh, okay, now I see what we're talking about.
Right. Okay, so this guy...
But it's still weird.
This guy posts this picture and says, "My dog is lost. His name is Jeremy. Please reply with tips." Now, not tips as in like money, but this is the picture he posts. If you're watching on video, it looks like a naked guy in a pair of Air Jordans.
Yeah. Like standing in a corner being weird.
Yeah, standing in a corner being weird. It looks like he's almost got his wiener hanging out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's just the weirdest picture. But it's just, that's all you see. You just see like, it just looks like a guy standing and it looks like he's actually got his hands near his wiener, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to actually click on the picture to see it, right? So then I'm going to hold it up to the video camera. Those of you who are watching on video, that's the actual picture. So it's his dog. It's still his dog standing in a pair of Air Jordans. Now, is it supposed to be a cute picture of the dog in order to make me want to go find your dog? Now, if your dog is standing upright in a pair of Air Jordans, he can probably find his own way home. Is that just me?
No, but I get sad by seeing those posts. You don't realize how many dogs go missing, especially the Huskies.
And I just realized the guy's name is on the picture. So,
oops.
Too late.
That's what he gets for posting.
That's right. If he didn't want his name
Especially
out there.
the first one where it looks like a dude standing there naked.
That's right. Yeah. But I'm just tired of people in my neighborhood.
So you're not going to be invited to the next neighborhood potluck.
No, evidently I shouldn't show my face at National Night Out.
Right.
And I get stupid stuff like, you know what? Nature is nature, folks. I get it. I have chipmunks, right? And I worry about them. I worry about their health. Sure. I worry about the fact that they could be swallowed up by predators. But when they disappear, I don't go hunting down I don't go hunting down the animals that killed them. Right?
Yeah.
But I read you the one, right? I read you the one thing about the turkeys. Should I elaborate the thing about the turkeys?
Sure, so that people know what we're talking about.
Oh my God, Mallie. Oh, it drove me nuts. I'll paraphrase. So someone actually wasted space on Nextdoor saying turkey alert, right? And then saying something about, I'm sad to report that this morning, there were 4 turkeys missing, as evidently the coyotes were out last night. R.I.P. to the 4 turkeys. What? You wasted space telling me that 4 turkeys were gone because coyotes do what coyotes do? Get the F out of here.
Is that a Minnesotan thing? The coyotes? Because I always said coyotes.
I'm sure. I guess.
No, I'm just curious.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. Coyotes. I don't know. It's just shorter to say coyotes.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was regional.
It might be. Yeah. I just. So coyotes.
Yeah, they're complaining about stupid stuff.
Yeah, they got a meal. So, okay. We eat turkeys at Thanksgiving and Christmas.
That way. That sounds sad.
But it's the truth. I mean,
I had a flying turkey hit my windshield driving down 35 back in the day.
I had one run across my path the other day, but I didn't hit him. But I waved to him. I said, hi. I said, go find your partner. But I don't I don't broadcast that. I mean, I just did, but I mean,
right.
Yeah, but I didn't put it on next door. Right. I didn't say, hey, talk to a turkey today. It was great. We had a great conversation. He flipped me the wing or whatever, Well, now I said it. Makes me sound nuts.
People are bored. They have nothing to complain about, so they find the silliest things on these social media platforms.
Jesus. Okay, I've had my rant. What were you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about this guy in...
screaming how they thought it was a ghost rather than him yelling for help.
Yeah, so use your goddamn heads, folks.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
If he's like, help, down here.
Yeah, if you hear, oh, I'm hurt. Don't go, oh my God, there's a ghost and he's hurt. Go check it out. Just go check it out, folks. Go check it out. Fortunately, though, in the end, someone finally did contact the police. Someone with a bit of sense in their head. To report his calls, and rescuers arrived on the scene. By the time he was rescued, he had gone 3 days, Mallie, without eating or drinking. 3 days. Does that make any sense?
No.
Because someone was afraid that they had heard a ghost.
Right. Ugh, poor guy.
Unbelievable. Meanwhile, someone's reporting on turkeys in the Twin Cities.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I got nothing. Actually, I had something, but I got nothing. Meanwhile, over on the other side of the pond, turns out we got a potty mouth ghost. Little ghost with a potty mouth. You got to love those ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
There's one at Waverly Hills, the Death Tunnel.
Yeah.
Swears up a storm.
He's kind of fun.
Tells me to F off every time.
It's kind of funny, actually.
That thing is not nice.
You ever tell him to F off back?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't want it coming up those stairs. But I hear the footsteps all the time.
What you do...
I don't need it coming home with me.
What you do is you take out a little sage stick and light it up like a little cigar and go, oh, fuck you back. Ah. Right? Give him a little Parisian attitude.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I say. Then what are they going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Done. It'll follow you home.
You got a sage stick.
That's not doing anything.
Not if you don't believe.
Yeah.
Right?
That thing's been around for lots of years, many years. Like me waving a little sage stick and holding a crystal's gonna keep it there. I mean, I believe in that stuff, but come on.
Yeah. I tried.
He's probably just sitting back laughing. Look at this dimwit. Be gone. Mean spirit.
Sage stick in one hand, swirling a little bit of holy water around, and
yep, exactly.
And a snifter in the other.
You scared now?
Come have a drink with me, no?
Yeah. Yeah. I hate that death tunnel, though. Ugh.
Yeah, it's not exactly a fun place to hang out.
No, especially when those footsteps come up towards you in the dark. You're like, Jesus Christ! And it picks up speed, but as you're picking up speed, you're like, ah! And it's not an echo either. I've tested it out.
Yeah, it's not. That's for sure. That's for sure. In this case, paranormal investigators are sworn at by a potty mouth entity. Why am I doing the Canadian accent today? Potty mouth entity in an abandoned West Country graveyard. The investigation took place by the former mental health facility in Horton Road. Horton, here's a who, you know. An intrepid paranormal sleuths who hunt for evidence of otherworldly beings have conducted an investigation on the grounds of a former mental health facility and abandoned West Country graveyard. During various parts of the investigation, it is claimed a disembodied figure told them to eat shit, while another seemed to direct them to a grave. Maybe there's plenty of shit in the grave. It's just an instruction. It's not a, it's a literal instruction. Right? Never know. Gloucester Paranormal Investigation Services is run by lead investigators 48-year-old Paul Cowmeadow and 51-year-old Ed Francis, who are both from Gloucester. They are best of friends and share an interest in the paranormal. And held their first investigation at the Rose Garden in Matson in 2018, and have continued on a quest to find conclusive proof of otherworldly beings in different locations across the country. Paul and Ed had previously tried to investigate the former mental health facility and abandoned graveyard in Horton Road, Gloucester, yet due to poor weather, they had to abandon their plans. They have said an entity at the investigation recognized the pair from the previous stakeout and said, "Nice to see you." The investigation took place mid-October and was recorded during a Facebook live stream. Paranormal fans were able to join and watch the spooky goings-on for themselves. Paul said, "The most recent investigation we carried out took place at an abandoned graveyard on Horton Road opposite where the former Horton Road Hospital was, which was Gloucestershire's first mental asylum, which was opened from 1823 to 1988. This graveyard is said to be part of the hospital, and patients from the asylum are believed to be buried there. We briefly tried to investigate it a few years ago, but unfortunately the weather wasn't on our side, and we had to leave just when we were starting to make a connection with the spirits there." The pair arrived to the area around 9:30 p.m. to start the live stream at 10 p.m. The stream drew in fans of the team to watch on as the night's events developed. Ed said this investigation was a bit different from some of our previous investigations, as it felt like the spirits there really wanted us to return and communicate with them, which makes sense as it is an abandoned graveyard and we were probably the only visitors they had that gave them some attention. Paul said after our first visit there back in 2021, we had to leave because of bad weather. We felt like we had just only scratched the surface of what spirits were there, and definitely felt like the spirits really wanted to communicate with us. This year we were again held back a bit by the weather, but as soon as a clear evening was forecast, we seized the opportunity and went back to Horton Road Graveyard to see if we could pick up where we left off last time. Paul and Ed felt like they were going to get responses from otherworldly beings from the off. They have documented the highlights of the live video and feel responses. They had many intelligent responses from paranormal entities at that point. For example, Paul takes a small box out of his bag and the spirits produce the words, "What's that box?" Then Ed explains to the spirits what to do with his digital recorder during a burst EVP session, and the spirits produce the words, "Explain that device." Paul said, "We use a ball, which is a cat toy." Oh, they use cat toys that light up when it moves. And while we were talking away, the name Thomas comes through on the Alice box, which is a voice-generated word device. And the spirits pick and choose what they would like to say. When the name Thomas came through, a cat eyeball went off. The cat ball actually moved onto a grave with the name Thomas on it, which was amazing, according to them. Ed said, "This one's quite funny. Well, moving around the graveyard, a spirit asked a question through the Spirit Talker app asking, 'Am I dead?' We responded by telling them, 'Yes, you are. Sorry.' And then the spirit generated 2 more words for us. 'Eat shit.'" Oh, that's a great thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, if it was nasty in real life, it's nasty in death.
That's right. We came to the conclusion that it must be a spirit in denial, doesn't want to believe that they are actually dead. The engagement from the entities did not stop there. The word abandoned came through on the word box, and the pair believe this was in reference to the abandoned graveyard where they were investigating. Paul said the spirits produce the word abandon, which makes us think about how the graveyard is abandoned and nobody takes care of the graves anymore, causing them to become overgrown and almost invisible in places. Ed started removing some of the ivy and leaves away from a nearby grave, making it more visible, and the spirits produced the words, "Thank you so much," and also said that it was nice to see us again. Paul and Ed have been busy in the paranormal investigation work for recent months, and it has taken them into a new realm of television. Ed said, "It's been a busy couple of years for us. Last year, we were in the Forest of Dean at Little Dean Jail, filming for a new series called Weird Britain, which was featured on Blaze earlier this year and is now being shown on Sky History. We're also involved in 3 film festivals, the 40 Film Festival, the Megaflix Movie Awards, and the International Celebration of Cinema that are run throughout the year. We've appeared as extras in a horror movie and are involved in filming for other documentaries, which we can't say too much about at this moment, which is always an adventure and a lot of fun. Paul said our hopes for the future are to continue on our paranormal journey with the spirits and travel further afield to continue to take their stories to a wider audience through documentaries and media. So there you go. Well, as long as they get spirits saying eat shit at them, I suppose they can go wherever they want, right? So there you go. Although that, they can't take it to TV, I guess, with spirits telling them to eat shit. So. But they can do whatever they want outside of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It turns out that it's been a quiet year, Mallie, for Loch Ness Monster. We've got a list of 2024 sightings for you here. It's a short one at that, being it's been quiet. Mm-hmm. Whether or not you happen to believe that there is a large unidentified creature in the depths of Scotland's most voluminous loch, there's no denying that the Loch Ness Monster mystery still remains one of the most enduring cryptozoological enigmas in the world today. Many visitors to the loch believe that they have seen the monster, and while there is still no concrete evidence of its existence, interest in the phenomenon remains high. That said, according to the official Loch Ness Monster Sightings Register, there were only 3 sightings this year, and 2 of those were picked up beneath the surface via sonar. That's in stark contrast to the year before, which had 10 registered sightings. That's not a lot. Mm-mm. No, just 3. So, interesting. But there you go. California's Bigfoot Discovery Museum is going to close its door after 20 years. The most famous attraction had long proven a popular destination for those with an interest in cryptozoological mysteries. It's situated in the small town of Felton among California's Santa Cruz Mountains. The museum was founded by Michael Rugg, whose imminent retirement will mark the end of an era for the attraction, hosting all manner of Bigfoot-related items, ranging from plaster casts to an exhibit about the famous Patterson-Gimlin film. The museum is a unique homage to the mystery of Sasquatch. Anywhere from 30 to 70 people come in the door, and they'll check everything out. And I show them our local sighting map, which they're usually amazed to see how many sightings there have been in the area, Rugg told NBC News. I was amazed, too, because when I opened it, I didn't expect that to happen. Sadly, the museum won't be continuing after Rugg retires in the near future. It's going to be weird for me, he said. I'm so used to this, and I've been doing this for so long. To suddenly have it all go away and everything is going to be so strange, he went on to say. Rugg has gained himself a keen interest in the Bigfoot phenomena after witnessing what he now believes to have been one of the creatures in the woods when he was just a child. His interest in the topic culminated in the opening of the museum back in the early 2000s. Any good things, though, as they say, all good things, as they say, must come to an end. It's sad. It's sad that that's coming to an end. It's just too bad that someone didn't pick it up and continue to run it after he decided to retire. So there you go. 2 more stories left on the big program today. And they're Christmas related. There you go.
Getting in the holidays spirit.
There you go. Although I don't know that this is the kind of Christmas related we're looking forward to.
Oh.
Although they're loosely Christmas related. So I think you'll like this. Although this is a little eerie. This is more our friend Josh Gates' speed than ours. We'll put it that way. Yeah. The sarcophagus of the real-life Santa Claus was unearthed at church in Turkey. Keep the kids away. That's all I'm saying. This might not be the kind of Santa Claus they want to visit and sit on his lap. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The limestone sarcophagus is thought to have been that of St. Nicholas, the real-life inspiration behind Santa Claus. Don't bring your list, kids. I'm just saying. This Santa won't be there to answer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You might be forgiven for thinking that Santa Claus, who delivers presents to children around the world at Christmas, is little more than a story, but in actual fact, he is based on a real-life individual, St. Nicholas, a 4th century bishop who once lived in the ancient city of Myra in Turkey. Around 200 years after he died, the Church of St. Nicholas was constructed in Demir, I believe that is Antalya, and his remains were moved to a sarcophagus there. According to historical records, his bones were moved again in the 11th century to the Basilica di San Nicola in Bari, Italy. Now, archaeologists excavating the original Church of St. Nicholas believe that they may have discovered the actual sarcophagus in which Nicholas himself had originally been interred. Buried around just 1.5 to 2 meters beneath the ground and measuring 2 meters in length, the sarcophagus has a raised lid and a pitched roof that makes it consistent with other burials in the region. Our biggest hope is to find an inscription on the sarcophagus, Associate Professor Ebru Fatma Findik told Turkey Today. I love Turkey Today. I love it tomorrow, too. It's a great meal. I don't know if you've ever had it. This would help clarify the burial contents and allow us to determine the exact period that it dates from. It is hoped that further excavations will reveal additional confirmation over the coming months. It's an interesting picture here, Mel. I'll show you. It's an interesting little, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's not much. I mean, you would think a saint would be buried in something a little more ornate, but.
Right.
Yeah.
Watch, Santa Claus is bad. He was a bad saint.
That's right. He was on the naughty list. Mm-hmm. Right? They just threw him in a little box. But yeah.
Did you hear about, I don't think it's the Vatican, but it's some church that wants to open up like 5 portals?
Yes, I actually had that story. What happened to it?
Because I'm like, nothing good's going to come out of this, so why are we doing it?
You know what? I think I can pull up that story real quick. I had that story originally for this week, and I don't know what happened to it. It's an interesting little tidbit.
Like, I heard a lot about it, and then I didn't. Like, it kind of went to the wayside where it was like...
Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah. It was an interesting little story about. Yeah, I had, what happened to that story? I had it.
Probably a cover up.
Probably it got wiped off my deal here. Because originally I pulled that story and I thought I had it in here. Where did it go?
Because the running joke was, is Tom Hanks going to be there? Because of all the angels and demons and the movies he was doing. Da Vinci Code.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get that story back up here. Okay, there's a fact check on it. Vatican or Pope Francis isn't opening 5 sacred portals on Christmas Eve for a never performed ritual. There's a Snopes thing on here too that says it isn't happening.
Okay.
Now there is a news story about it. I can read you the news story. I have the news story here.
But now they're saying that it was a false story, that it was fake?
Snopes is saying it's fake.
Okay.
The news story, I'll read you the news story because I have the news story here. The news story is that Pope Francis is preparing to unbrick and open 5 sacred portals, symbolizing the doorway to salvation. The doors are only open once every 25 years, so may well be a little rusty. This year, for the first time, one of the doors will be opened in a prison as a sign of inviting prisoners to look for the future with hope, the Pope said in a bull of indiction announcing this year's ceremony. The tradition dates back to 1300, and the door openings themselves follow a ritual first carried out in 1423. They mark Jubilee years, a concept dating back to the Old Testament when sinners could see their sins forgiven. 2025 is one such year, so if you've got something on your mind, it could be a good time to confess. The doors in the basilicas have been bricked up from the inside. The walls will be taken down before the Pope walks through them to symbolize the beginning of the Holy Year. They will remain open all year for pilgrims to pass through until the Jubilee finishes on January 6th of 2026. The Pope will then be the last person to walk back through before closing them, and they will be sealed up once again. In Rabibia prison, the process will be different as it is the main door of the prison in which it will be used as a symbol for all prisons in the world. They were last opened in 2016 during an extraordinary extra jubilee called the Year of Mercy, having previously stayed closed until the turn of the millennium. And they won't be opened again until we go into 2050. Pope Francis said he hoped the Jubilee would be a moment of genuine personal encounter with the Lord Jesus, the door of our salvation. In October, he asked for prayers for the martyred people of the Ukraine and cited inhumane acts in Gaza and said he feared the world was losing its heart. The Vatican's nativity scene this year featured a baby Jesus lying on a manger lined with the Palestinian keffiyeh, I believe it is. Or keffiyeh, that's what it is. The Pope said these nativity scenes remind us of those who in the land where the Son of God was born continue to suffer due to the tragedy of war. The keffiyeh is a black and white scarf worn by Palestinians. It's a symbol that is commonly used to demonstrate support towards the state. At a ceremony to ordain new cardinals this week, the Pope was seen with a large bruise on his chin, sparking health concerns. A Vatican spokesman said it was caused after he fell and hit a nightstand with his chin. You never want to do that. You always want to brace yourself. You never want to hit it with your chin. It's a joke. The Vatican spokesman, I'm sorry, I read that already. In 2017, while on a trip in Colombia, the Pope was left with a black eye after hitting his head on a support bar when his Pope-mobile stopped short. That's a George Costanza thing. You never want to stop short.
Yep.
I got Seinfeld jokes. Okay, so with that was the original story. All right. Mm-hmm. Now, Snopes is saying, they're saying that the claim was circulating online that Pope Francis would open the 5 sacred portals on Christmas Eve. One X account that shared the rumor wrote, Pope Francis will be opening 5 sacred portals for a special Catholic ritual on Christmas Eve. Other users claimed it would be the first time the ritual had been performed. Many examples of the rumor stemmed from an online article by the New York Post, which published on December 9th. The report headline read, Pope Francis to open 5 sacred portals on Christmas Eve for a ritual never been done before, which is different than the one I read. I read one from Metro in England. They had basically asked what are holy doors, etc. They're asking about, or they're talking about exactly what a holy jubilee is. It says Pope Francis also oversaw the last jubilee in 2015. He declared it an extraordinary jubilee, one declared separately from the traditional 25-year gap of the ordinary jubilee, and dedicated it to the 50th anniversary of the end of the Second Vatican Council in 1965. The most recent ecumenical conference in which Catholic leaders convened to update certain elements of the church to reflect the modern, more secular world. The last ordinary jubilee took place in 2000. Snopes has covered numerous claims pertaining to Pope Francis in the past, including if he said all religions are paths to God, whether or not he presented a nativity scene that featured baby Jesus wrapped in a keffiyeh, and if he endorsed Donald Trump in the 2016 U.S. presidential election. It's just basically saying that, no, it's not going to take place.
Okay. It was just weird because I was hearing it everywhere and then it stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Then I didn't hear a word about it.
Yeah, it's because it's not true.
Or is it a cover up? Because they were like, you are about to unleash all holy hell if you do this.
That's right. You're unleashing hell on earth. No, it's it's funny because the Catholic Church will tell you, well, don't commune with psychics, but yet you have prophets that talk together, right? That commune with the dead. And then it's, well, witchcraft is evil, but we're going to open portals. So, hey. So, 6 1, half dozen of the other, ignore what this hand is doing, but this hand is over here doing other stuff. But it's all in the name of God, so, There's that. Okay, our last story today also is Christmas themed.
Ooh.
I guess that one was too. So we're in a Christmas theme.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
A horror influencer who married a spirit says that Santa Claus is a ghost. Well, of course he is. He's dead, right?
Yeah, well, Santa Claus is the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah, he's the spirit.
So he would be a ghost.
He would be a ghost. Good call, Mal.
Thank you.
A horror influencer who once married a spirit has claimed that Father Christmas is a ghost. Duh. Spooky rock singer Brocard says she famously wed, then split from the spirit of a Victorian soldier. And she is now, maybe she's looking to hop on Santa, if you know
I think I remember that story.
You remember that story? I do.
I think so, yeah.
And she is now a paranormal investigator. Well, that's convenient.
Right.
Yeah.
Because once the divorce happens, what else are you going to do?
Well, you got to go looking for a new hubby, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
And change your vocation. So now
well, evidently the music business isn't kind. So,
yeah,
you gotta get on this train somehow. The Gothic singer says she believes Santa is likely to be a ghost who has shapeshifted into a red suit on Christmas Eve. That's the worst theory ever.
Yeah.
Brocard says her ex, Eduardo, oh, that's right, his name was Eduardo. You remember this story now?
Yep.
You remember the jokes about Eduardo? Came alive at Christmas, I bet he did, right?
Jeez.
Little red bow in the appropriate spot. And would dress up as Santa Claus. Oh, come on. So Eduardo was Santa? I don't buy it.
No. I think this lady's just looking for some clout.
Yep. And he even floated down the chimney. Oh, Eduardo. Oh, I bet he had a little present for her, too. Huh?
Nice.
She reckons other spirits might also do the same. Show up with their own gifts, if you know what I mean.
Stick in a box.
She claims they are prone to getting into the festive spirit and attracted to the magic of Christmas. Wink. Yeah, when some parts of them come alive, if you know what I mean.
I think this lady just needs some views on her social media pages.
Or she's a little hard up, one or the other.
Yep.
Brocard from Oxford says when people think they see Santa, they might be looking for a cheeky ghost. I think she's just looking for one. She says if people encounter the vision of Father Christmas coming down the chimney, it could actually be the apparition of a ghost getting into the festive spirit. Boy, somebody's horned up at Christmas, aren't they?
Yeah.
She said fundamentally, ghosts and Father Christmas have a lot in common. Most people don't believe they exist. It's important to understand that the ghosts can often sense the energy of the holidays, and some get as excited as we do.
I think as excited as she does.
Right?
She's the only one that's getting turned on by this holiday.
That's right. If you consider that some ghosts don't even realize they are dead, they sometimes start to celebrate the holidays as they did when they were living, Brocard went on to say. Many people believe that ghosts have the ability to shapeshift into various different disguises. This can often have terrifying implications and be very confusing, she went on to say. During the holidays, when emotions are high, spirits are attracted to these emotions, and some can present themselves as Father Christmas, Brocard also said. She added, When some people are adamant that they've seen Santa Claus, what they could have actually encountered is a shape-shifting ghost. I understand that Father Christmas is largely accepted as being fictional, but in spirit, he can be more real than any of us could ever imagine. During my Christmas with Eduardo, he came alive at the holidays. I bet he did. Mm-hmm. It was very clear that his energy was lighter and he was in the Christmas spirit. It's true that ghost moods can lift just like humans. On Christmas Eve, he shapeshifted and floated down the chimney. He must have remembered the Christmas tradition from when he was living. Brocard regularly updates her website, brocard.com. That's BROCARDE.com if you're looking for a Christmas chuckle with new paranormal explorations and ghost stories. Her Christmas single, Waiting for January, that must be when he goes flaccid, just saying, that tackles the mixed emotions of the holidays, is currently available on Spotify and all streaming platforms. Give her a few pennies if you wish. She is a horror influencer. The only thing scary is her stuff. And has traveled the world documenting her stays in some of the world's most haunted locations. So there you be. And that's how we end Supernatural News today.
Okay.
Yeah. Little Brocard, as in... Her pocketbook is probably broke real hard after Eduardo left her.
Oh, stop.
Here she is. So, yeah. So that'll do it for today. What's going on over there at paranormalgirl.com?
Just living the dream, my friend. Just living the dream. Check it out. Merchandise. And yeah, just getting in the holiday spirit.
Getting in the holidays.
Bacon cookies.
Oh, gosh, that sounds good. Little Christmas cookies. I could go for some of those, a little eggnog. I don't know why I'm so into Christmas this year. I don't know what my deal is.
It's good. It's good. You should be.
I don't know. It's just, I watched Rudolph the other day on TV.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. You know,
I missed it.
NBC they aired the whole deal this year.
Yep.
You know, and even the racist parts, which is great.
Yeah, because it's not definitely a PC.
No.
It's tradition.
They aired all the bullying and the racist and everything. It was great. It was the old Rudolph. I know people are like, Tim, that's horrible. I can't help it. They aired the whole original Rudolph. It was
right.
It was and when you watch it, it's a little cringy, but it's hey, why not? You know?
Yeah.
I mean they made fun of his nose. It's what it is. But it's a classic, right? I mean it's what it is, right? So
I watched Meet Me in St. Louis last night.
Yep.
Cried when she sang the Merry Christmas song. Now I just drew a blank, but I was crying. I got teary-eyed. Oh, have yourself a Merry Little Christmas. There we go.
Yeah.
I got a little teary-eyed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good movie. So yeah, it's a good deal. Good deal. Well, tomorrow on the big program, we're going to go deep into British ufology.
Okay.
Tomorrow we are going to talk to Paul Nugent, an author who has studied with George King. George King is, Paul Nugent is the director of the Aetherius Society, the world's oldest UFO organization, founded in 1955 by the Western Master of Yoga, Dr. George King. Dr. King was... believe it or not, had over 600 cosmic transmissions from intelligences existing upon the higher dimensions of the other planets, mainly from our solar system. In order to bring this about, he would enter into a positive yogic somatic trance. There's some interesting stuff here. And he did it on the BBC. He demonstrated this on the BBC.
Okay.
Some interesting stuff here we're going to get into. We're going to talk to Paul tomorrow about George Young. We're going to talk to him about all kinds of stuff. There's a book out there called Maya Meyer, A Spiritual Journey into Cosmic Truth and the Dawning of the New World. It is Paul's book that is out there now, so we're going to get into it with him. and talk about that book and his journey as well. So that's all tomorrow on the big program. It's an interesting week. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So UFOs by Yogic Journey. What do you think, Mallie?
Interesting.
Willing to twist yourself into a pretzel in order to talk to other societies?
And eat a pretzel.
Hey, I could go for one too at this point.
I have tried yoga and I have tried like meditation and stuff. Mm-hmm. I cannot do it. I cannot settle my mind.
A lot of people.
So I would not be able to communicate with extraterrestrials.
Well, maybe we'll find out from Paul tomorrow how you get into that mindset.
Yeah, I've tried and I just can't.
Yeah, well, we'll have to find out tomorrow from him how we go about it. So a lot of people can't. A lot of people can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't.
So maybe we find out the way to do it tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So Paul Nugent, our guest tomorrow on the big program. So there you go. All right, folks, that'll do it for today. Again, want you to check out paranormalgirl.com. Check out the merchandise over there and the recipes and whatnot. There's all that over there. Also, check out darknessradioshow.com. And there's plenty of merchandise over there as well for the holidays. Let's see. There's still a few days left to order last minute for the for both websites for the holidays. Mm-hmm. What else? What else was? Also, Ghost Stories Inc. They have their trip to the Palmer coming up for New Year's. Darkness 30 is your discount code. It is a manifestation trip. So if you're looking to change your life in 2025, if you want something new to come your way in 2025, the trip is all about manifestation. It's about how you bring new things into your life. So it's also an investigation of the Palmer too. So you're combining ghost hunting along with changing your energy in 2025. It's kind of, Jess always does new and exciting things with her trips up there. So,
yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah. So check it out. Darkness 30 to get 30% off the trip to the Palmer. It's New Year's weekend, the 2nd and 3rd. We have a link in the description of this program. So check it out. That trip as well. Let's see. I think that's it. So, and by the way, continue to keep a couple people in your thoughts and prayers this weekend. Our good friend Chip Coffey, who is struggling right now with his health and with some breathing issues and a terrible, terrible virus. We ask that you continue to pray for him, that he gets home by Christmas. We want him home by Christmas. I know it's a tall order because he's been very ill. He's been in the hospital now for over 2 weeks. But we want him home and celebrating with his fur babies in time for Christmas. So, Chip, we love you, and we want you home snugly and warm and celebrating the holiday. So please pray for Chip Coffey to be home and well by Christmas. Also, keep the victims and the families of the school shooting in Madison in your thoughts and prayers.
I heard about that. Oh, yeah. It's just awful.
That was a horrible tragedy that happened Monday. So if you could continue to keep those families in your thoughts and prayers of not only the injured but the dead. It's again, it's without getting on a soapbox. That type of violence just needs to stop. So, all right. With that, be a light in someone's darkness. Go out and help somebody this weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow for Paul Nugent right here on the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio.